Scientists are telling us that we're perching on a precipice and we need to convert the global economy and make it emissionless, and those emissions are caused by every single one of our jobs, like every one of us contributing carbon emissions to the smog. For instance, if I write a rhyme trying to describe climate change and it's hot so it catches on, pretty soon someone's gonna fly me someplace to perform it, and the appeal of that is enormous. It's not an option for me to turn down work for global warming, cause I make it hot. Yeah, people say my rhymes are dope. I twist words until they're unrecognizable. I make it hot, I make it heezy for sheezy. So hot even climate change skeptics will believe me. I make it hot, like the temperature it needs to be before the Tea Party will believe the IPCC. I make it hot, I liquefy the Greenland ice sheets. 7 meters of sea level rise, that'll do nicely. And yeah, humans are adaptable and we can toughen up, but that response ignores people who feel like it's already tough enough. Make a list of countries that nobody visits as a tourist. They have low carbon emissions. The richest inflicted this on the poorest. We did it by heating our houses and feeding our spouses and flying and driving places and having no patience for power outages. The Pope calls it anthropocentric. He calls it obnoxious, but I got work to do, and work takes energy to accomplish, and I make it hot. Yeah, I turn up the heat on the crowd. You make it hot too though, so don't try to be weaseling out. I make it hot. Yeah, I cause a heat wave. How about 9 degrees hotter than the hottest ones these days? I make it hot. Yeah, I spit flames, rap metaphors. A 5-alarm blaze consuming a redwood forest. I make it hot, like a planet with low albedo. Like me rocking a trench coat on a beach instead of a Speedo. Hot with no apologies, but still I'm feeling a lot of grief for the impact my lifestyle has on the planet's ecology. My carbon footprint is bigger than cryptozoologies. I'm talking Loch Ness monstrous, so I'm not at peace, cause the aggregate effect of every decision I'm making is tragic. But I can't just quit. They say that we're carbon emission addicts, but that's just glib. You want me to live in poverty abject? And if I did, what happens to greenhouse gases on average? If I quit and you don't, it's still hell in a handbasket. A traffic jam with no plan of action. Fantastic. It's a classic arms race that we're trapped in. It's ominous, self-interested parties in a tragedy of the commons. The problem is caused by our collective emissions of carbon, but the person who emits is not the person emissions are harming. So it's a failure of the market, because everyone is incentivized to pollute as much as they can get away with and catch a free ride. So it's no surprise to see global emissions on the rise. When the cost of burning fossil fuel is externalized, it's effectively subsidized. It's paid for by the victims of the eventual carbon impacts that are caused by our emissions. And Bill McKibben and The Guardian have been targeting investments like dirty energy is the new tobacco. So keep your distance from anybody making a profit off of fossil fuels. Cool, I'm down with the boycott. I'm just boycotting myself too, cause I make it hot. Hot like climate refugees. Picture a hot 100 million displaced Bangladeshis. I make it hot. Hot like the African sun. Like the Paleocene-Eocene thermal maximum. I make it hot. Feel that bass when it vibrates. Hot like the permafrost releasing methyl hydrates. I make it hot, so I'll make it 6 degrees, causing the extinction of 40% of species. Hot. So what are we left with? A speeding train with no brakes, some kind of a death wish, a scientific consensus that we're standing on a precipice, a population with no idea of how to reduce their emissions. Some people do offset their footprint voluntarily with the milk of human altruism, hope, faith, and charity, but that's not gonna cut it. It's not counterproductive, but we got a global carbon budget and it's globally busted, and there are hundreds of gigatons that we would have to offset. You might as well donate your piggy bank to the national debt. I ain't got no spare change to donate to carbon offsetting. I don't even want to calculate my footprint. I find it upsetting. It's like the medieval Catholic Church indulgence selling. If you get a Big Mac and a Diet Coke, your belly is still swelling. But here's what I'm willing. I'm willing to pay a tax, like a fee that's calculated against my carbon impacts and globally harmonized, to switch incentives around, make sure most of the carbon stores safely under the ground. But I'm not gonna pay it, not unless you all pay it too. That way I can be sure that you'll do what you say you'll do. How about everyone has to pay it? No free riders allowed. No international pact with India and China left out. You can either invest it in social programs or dividend it back to me. But either way, I won't be happy until the day they're carbon taxing me, cause then I can make it hot without ever feeling a chill. I'm just sick of that feeling of guilt, killing my high when I'm feeling a thrill. So I make it hot, I get some emotions aroused. If you don't make those hot, we're not gonna keep the oceans down, so let's make it hot. People, let's turn up the heat on polluters trying to catch a ride on the rest of us for free. I make it hot on the mic and in my social life when I agitate for my friends to agitate for a carbon price. That's how you make it hot.